Welcome to episode 2 of Famous Poems with a Boston Accent. The second poem I'm going to do is a letter, which is sort of funny because the first poem I did was a letter by Frank O'Hara. This is a letter by Jack Spicer from his book called After Lorca. This poem, letter, appears in the collected books of Jack Spicer. It was edited by Robin Blazer, and it's by Black Sparrow Press. There are a number of letters throughout this book, and this is one of them. Dear Lorca, loneliness is necessary for pure poetry. When someone intrudes into the poet's life, and any sudden personal contact, whether in the bed or in the heart, is an intrusion. He loses his balance for a moment, slips into being who he is, uses his poetry as one would use money or sympathy. The person who writes the poetry emerges tentatively, like a hermit crab from a conch shell. The poet, for that instant, ceases to be a dead man. I, for example, could not finish the last letter I was writing you about sounds. You were like a friend in a distant city to whom I was suddenly unable to write, not because the fabric of my life had changed, but because I was suddenly, temporarily, not in the fabric of my life. I could not tell you about it because both it and I were momentary. Even the objects change. The seagulls, the greenness of the ocean, the fish, they become things to be traded for a smile or the sound of conversation, counters rather than objects. Nothing matters except the big lie of the personal, the lie in which these objects do not believe. That instant, I said. It may last for a minute, a night, or a month, but this I promise you, Garcia Lorca. The loneliness returns. The poet insists the intruder. The objects come back to their own places, silent and unsmiling. I again begin to write you a letter on the sound of a poem, and this immediate thing, this personal adventure, will not have been transferred into the poem like the waves and the birds will, at best, show in the lovely pattern of cracks in some poem where autobiography shattered, but did not quite destroy the surface. And the insisted emotion will itself become an object, to be transferred at last into poetry, like the waves and the birds. And I will again become your special comrade. Love, Jack.